you know, tonight was interesting. Came to meet my wife's, oldest, and I won't go into details, but meeting her kind of tapped into I think my foresight ability. Um, I believe I have foresight, call it whatever you want, but seeing, things and kind of just tapped me into a future. So at least just 17 years to come into the future. And didn't really care for what I saw. Did not care for where I saw the human race going, where I saw mankind being, the things we did, the things we go through, the things we tolerate and put up with, and sacrificed and suffered through. I mean, this is where we are now. I couldn't even fathom like five. I mean, 'cause that's when this all started. Really, is within the last 5 years ago. So 10 years before that, 15 years, 20. I mean, 20 years ago. I mean, I was 17. I mean, I think we had. I mean, I think a lot of this stuff that we're dealing with now has always been around. Not like they think, but it has always been around. I just think it's kind of definitely grown more into a fad. I mean, I'm not saying like trans and all that stuff, all these people and 304s and simps and all that and all and pronoun shit. Like, I'm not saying that shit. I mean, I think it was there, just not. I mean, not so spread out, not so. I mean, people got infected with that stuff within the last 5 years. Politics have been consuming us forever. Social media, I mean, poisons us with flashy lights, loud music, hypnotic drug of confidence and sexuality and freedom, a blurred, drunk vision of how the world is, so we don't see how nasty it really is. Politics have been playing chess and with the human race, with the people for a long time. It's just with everything that's happening now, with where the world's. I mean, depending on when America was actually founded, like 1486, I think is when Christopher Columbus um, found America. Um, 1776 was when the Constitution was written. And throughout that, I mean, we came to build the society that we have now. Um, take your pick on history and whatnot, with a little bit dose of government conspiracies and myths and theories of other sorts have done it. With done it, like, just take your pick with the history, and now we're here. And the most advanced age in modern day history, we do things that we probably didn't even think of or think we ever would have. And we've fallen so far. And I'm not even gonna have like this BS, religious break into it, because I think religion is partly the blame. I think we were just lost, grasping on this stuff. I do think fucking after a certain time, I think a certain group kind of branched off and did their own thing and came to warp the history of man into this. while they live a certain life off of our blood, sweat, and tears. But we're here in this day and age, in this reality, in this world, in the country of the United States, next to all the other countries and governments and societies and cultures. And we just are so judgmental, so paranoid, so questioning. We're not asking the right questions, and we're accepting any blowjo bullshit answer. As long as it sounds like it, or we're told that it's the right answer. So, there's no reason to fact check it. This is what it is. Trust me. And we just go along with it. Like I'm just all this fighting and dividing between each other. All these families being torn apart by fighting between mom and dad. Kids rebelling and being told that they're mature enough to make decisions for themselves, and compassion and understanding is in a house along with respect and fear. Because I think all those are necessary to build a nuclear family. you know. Families are being torn apart because of everything from sexuality to political abuse to moral foundations. Families are not, strong like they used to be. Neighbors are strangers, not really friends or acquaintances. People you just walk by chance you make eye contact, give a respectful nod. You know, drugs are everywhere. Like you go into a neighborhood, you go into an apartment complex, you guaranteed you'll find a few dealers, you'll find a shit ton of users, and a lot of drifters that come by diggling your garbage as you're getting clean, been clean for a year. Get your kids out of the system, deal with their head games, them forcing their way into your life with no grounds. But now you're here to deal with them, jumping all their hoops and doing their homework for them while they pussyfoot around with your kids and bend you over backwards and break you or try. And then finally get it closed just to get welfare and be on food stamps and pay about 1/3 of your income to rent, make enough money in food stamps to be not really not really actually go do anything or save. I mean, I could work, and I'm trying to find work, but it ain't, right now it ain't easy. And I'm not playing no violin, I mean, I can go find work. I had a job that kind of blew up my face because my boss is like 6 years younger than me and dealing with drug problems himself at the time and just using. Then I kind of just quit because I just couldn't deal with the job and BS I was having there, along with the BS I was having in my home. And I got stiffed out of almost $300 of pay. Have my other case with my other two girls just blow up my face because my ex is a narcissistic, manipulating, twat. And the system played me and she used it. And I mean, I have evidence of text messages of the mindset of those two that in any logical court system would find them emotionally and mentally unstable to be parents. But because she's the mom, and I was not on the Pacific, and I think I am on there now. But now we have a parent plan, and you know, they're with her because she's the mom. Her moms are number one parents. Dads are second class, if that. I mean, I don't talk to any of my family. They're not. I mean, we have our issues and shit, and that's pretty much why we stopped. But I think, in hindsight, for where my mind has gone and came to be, I think it's for the best. My thought process and beliefs and theories wouldn't mesh with them. I don't think we would have ended up here anyways. So it's better now. It was better 15 years ago than now. Because where I am now, it would end up here anyways. So, I don't know. Family's very important to me now. I'm breaking that chain. I'm definitely taking a trip on my past and doing a lot of future tripping, I guess, about how my life was and how I want my family to be as of now because I'm starting a new chain, being the dad that will become the grandpa, that will become the great grandpa, that will become the great great grandpa. And I want to make sure my family's on a new path, you know. And the same thing with my girl. She wants to break the chain that she, had, and we're building our own chain. That is just this world is just I don't know. There's a lot going on in this world, and I do believe there's a spiritual awakening crisis war going on. Whether between evil and good, life and death, reality, the system. There's a massive war that's going on and I'm not just talking about the physical war of Ukraine, Russia, and fear of North Korea joining with Putin and nuclear war talk, but there's a humanity crisis war going on between the mind, soul, and heart of humanity. um, that's actually the mind, the heart, and the soul. Pretty much the tranquility, the Trinity. And there's definitely I don't really know how I feel about demons and angels. I'm not gonna say they don't exist. I'm gonna say like I have more of a different outlook on them and all that kind of aspects, but there's definitely some work going on. This world can't. Our mind. Like, how does? If there's no magic and there's no miracles, no God, no devil, no gods or goddesses, what is the purpose then? Why is the world as it is going the way as it has been? Why are we here as we are right now in 2023? A few months away from being 2024, right? And we've had this, religious belief and spiritual connection, and came to evolve from fire and will, creating the will to creating the light bulb and electricity to indoor plumbing to skyscrapers and now airplanes and all that. Like, what is the purpose for everything? Why are we here? I mean, I know the meaning of life. I think is to create life. I mean, that's our centerpiece. That's what gives us, I think, beginning. We were put here to create more life. But what is the purpose in creating more life? And then what is the purpose of that? Why are we, just to live a good life as we deal with hardships and bullshit and death, to stay on a straight and narrow, to be good, to end up in heaven or hell or neither. I mean, to ascend into where we're more than our bodies and we pass death. I mean, like, or do we die and nothing happens? I mean, like, what is why are we, why is this planet that just happens to build the perfect, you know, atmosphere that we need, that's apparently doing some kind of breakdancing in a certain pattern, all right, as this whole galaxy is thrown and flying through space, which that kind of sounds like a spaceship flying through space. So is this whole galaxy, you know, a spaceship? And maybe we're in stasis, using the virtual reality to just live a life until our spaceship comes to its destination, and then we're gonna exit the reality and who we really are. It's like unplugging from the matrix, and who we are not this. Just what is the, like? Why are we all here? I mean, and then I'm sorry, but there's a. I mean, I said I wasn't gonna bring this into religion and aspects, but it ties in with it because there's a lot of stories about um hell and what to expect there and why you go there. All right, brimstone of fire, the 7 or 9 levels of hell. You go there for all damnation, depending on the level of your the weight of your soul and your sins, and you're tormented for all eternity for your sins. And there's no way getting out. Apparently, you're there, for eternity until I think the rapture happens, and then I don't know. But there's no real talks about heaven and what to really expect. I mean, you could go off of some of the shows that we have, but is any of that close to being what the Bible says heaven's about? I mean, once you get to the pearly gate and you're let in, what happens? What do you do? I mean, there's no death, there's no sickness, there's no dying, there's no war, there's no drugs, there's no alcohol, there's no pain, just bliss. You're just happy and hanging out with family, not hanging out with family, doing your own thing. I mean, going to church up there. I mean, do they have their own? Like, do they have a place where you just go and just worship all day, every day? I mean, is that all you do? I mean, do you just worship God all day and just puke up Bible verses with each other? And that's it. Like, what do you do up there? Like, what happens when you get to heaven? Are you able to see God, or is it true that He's just so divine that if we look at Him, we would just die? So, like, if we were to see Him up there, we would just die. So He would obliterate us out of existence. That's kind of twisted. Um, but are we gonna meet Jesus? Are we gonna be able to speak with Jesus? Are we gonna? I mean, these questions I have now, will I even care to ask them up there? I mean, if I'm talking to Jesus, I think I've got a good 90 at least percent of them, answered. Um, if not all of them. I mean, shit, I'm looking at Jesus right now, so like apparently, I was wrong, you know. But I mean, like, why was there so many miracles back in the day and really none anymore? I mean, you can go from miracles to magic. I mean, why was witchcraft, thought to have so much power, to have influence over the mind? And then over time, it comes to be believed by a lot that witchcraft is not real. And if it is real, it's all from the devil. It's all witchcraft is all from the devil. None of it. Not alchemy, not potions, not cures, not remedies. It's all from the devil. I don't care. I don't care if it cured your whatever back then. You could have been dead tomorrow, and I don't care. Cured you, cool. You're dead. You used witchcraft. You're devil worshiper. It's no different than science today, which I mean, a good chunk of science is sorcery and alchemy. I mean, it's a lot of it's also necromancy and doing certain plastic surgery and certain other kinds of forms of surgery to fix things or add a new heart, whatnot. That's all forms of necromancy in a matter of speaking. But I don't know. Kind of went on a rant. I just definitely had a lot on my mind. Probably just talk and talk until this one just, um, yeah. I don't know. I'm just trying to think about I mean, 13 more years. Well, 12 years now. Because my oldest turned 6. So 12 years now. She'll be 18. I'll be 49. See how many gray hairs I get then. White and silver. How much more hair I can lose. Yeah, I'll be 50 almost. I'll be 18. In 13 years, it will be 2037, I think. Where will the modern age, be then? How divided will it be then? How much of the planet will have been destroyed from war, from humanity? How much will the people have fallen? I mean, I mean, with things are how it's going out in the world, especially with all these cops, just walking all over the people, and all these people recording them, and all these school shootings, and all these riots, Black Lives Matter, Antifa, and all these LGBT, psychopaths that are protesting, all these college students that are just brain dead, brainwashed idiots. I mean, I mean, it's gonna get to the point where people are just fed up with how the system. I mean, yeah, if if a, I see the system definitely using all this is to use the people to riot before we can build a militia, um, and using the people to just destroy a lot of shit and give them grounds to come in and use peacekeepers, whatnot, and aspects to get us in line. I mean, look at the military. I mean, you tell me they want to use the military on other people. I mean, because that's what the Constitution, that's what the whole Second Amendment is about. Right? You don't think the government, the system, after everything is done, you don't think they would use the military to enforce their law, their way on the people, on us. You really think so? I mean, out of all the movies we come up with, you don't think they would do it? I mean, come on now. Like, why do we have all these government conspiracy? Why do we have all these movies saying that the government's bad? They're telling us everything. We're just not picking up on it. That's it. They're telling us everything. We're just not picking up on it. Like, what's the point of playing their game when they don't even have to abide by the rules? Like, really, what's the point? But I think somebody needs to, like, I mean, I already have a few. I mean, I really do think we need to overthrow government. I mean, the take the country. The people need to take the country. Like, like, and just somehow like pull it off to where we can get in the right positions to force the government to listen. you know, yeah, we need to, because if the reality keeps on going the way it's going, we're not gonna like what the world looks like. We're not gonna like how what the world we leave our kids looks like. It's time that just we've done enough talking. I think in a matter of speaking, I think we've made it quite clear. I think it's quite clear that the people are tired. I think it's quite clear that we're fed up. So what are we gonna do about it? Just try to communicate with them and try to talk to them is, I think, a joke. I mean, I've seen a lot of people on YouTube that actually have a brain in their head, but none of us are getting on Pierce Morgan, but OnlyFans is. None of us are getting on any of these podcasts. There's a lot of podcasts that actually talk about some real shit, but they're not asking the right questions, and they're not spending a good majority of time on the main topics. Like, do I think, society needs to be talked about, the wage gap, BS shit needs to be talked about? Sure. Do I think that men and women need to sit down and hash out our differences? Yes. But I think there's bigger things than that right now. We need to figure out like what the country is gonna do. I mean, we're taking in, you know, other people's, you know, citizens. Like we have like California has all these weed farms that are ran by the cartel, and I mean that's another thing. I mean, we have like podcasts about ex-criminal. I mean, I'm not talking about JD Delay and podcasts like that. All right, I like his way. I mean, he's I'm down with his work, but I'm talking about the ones that are talking about that, like they're reminiscing about selling drugs to fucking superstars and porn stars, and how the cartel works, and what they did, and how they got away with it. And it's just like, why are you glorifying crime? Why is I mean crime really glorified? I mean, I get it. Don't get me wrong. I mean, action movies are fun to watch, and but one, everything that's happening in the movies, yes, is somewhat based around reality, but it's also scripted. Reality in real life is not script. There is no like cut, scene. There's no fake blood. There's life. There's death. There's money. There's drugs. There's rat snitches. There's top dog shot callers. Fucking gangs. There's beef. There's rules, regulations, laws. People really die. when they overdose. People really die when you shoot them. Like they end. There's no coming back. There's no once they're done rolling, you can get up and wipe off that fake blood. No, you're dead. You know, gangs are shooting each other, and they're gangs are pretty much just going off the basic foundation of the law of anarchy. You know, I can do whatever I want, and so can you. So unless you're willing to stop me, I'm gonna sell drugs. I'm gonna sell them at school. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna shoot anybody that rats on me. I mean, they're going off the basic foundations of fucking anarchy. Like I can do whatever I want, and if you're not gonna stop me, I'm gonna do it. You know. So unless we want, like, are willing to lay down our lives and just check all this crime shit, like in one feel swoop. I mean, like one feel swoop. Like if the government actually had like good intentions, they could stop crime. They could end all this, drugs. They could end it real quick. All right, I don't believe in this bullshit. They're making too much money off of crime and jails and drugs and rehab and therapy and everything. Pretty much, they're making money. They're making a shit ton of money, making cures and stopping drugs and getting people clean and helping them build a life so they don't have to be on welfare. It doesn't. They fix the problems. It doesn't make the money, and not nearly as much as if they tear us down. They make more money off of us when they tear us down. Why would they build it? I mean, chemotherapy. That's a $500 billion you know industry every year. 500 billion, I think. It's either 500 million or 500 billion. But even if it's 500, million, that's a lot of money. I ain't gonna see that kind of money anytime soon. Just 1 year, 500 million. Even if it's 500,000, shit to me, fucking 50,000, 5 grand. I could definitely use fucking 5 grand right now. Shit, that's how much fucking a lawyer costs for I think, I don't know, day, a week, or I don't exactly know because I can't get into fucking a lawyer's office to talk to them to find out anything. But I mean, I could still use 5 grand. I could pay my rent for a few months. Fucking get me a decent beat up car so we can actually have a car. Be able to take my kids and my girl, to go do something as a family. You save up some money so we can, I mean, shit, 5 grand. Probably take $1,000, go invest it in some stuff, make some money off of that. So I can invest, and have a nice little, nest egg for my family to fall back on, when we get old and when I die, and help my kids out with, their dreams. I mean, 'cause I definitely do believe a parent should help a kid out, but with reasoning and guidelines and understanding, that, I believe in you, so here's a little bit of money to let you go record at a studio for music, or, you want to go do this, fine, I'll stock on the money, you give it a try, you know. Yeah, my street brother that wanted to be a underwater welder, do all the welding that's underwater, and that's good money, or go to school for fucking to learn to count, my numbers so you can go make your own money out there. Fucking shout out to JD Lay, put, your kid through barber school, because, he wants to cut hair, watch his dreams come true. That little bit of money you send him to school to get his degree builds into a career and builds into a successful lifestyle. Makes you proud. But I don't know. Definitely on a future trip right now. feel like Doctor Strange fucking from movie when he's checking out all the fucking 15 million fucking uh dimensions or outcomes future. I use that time stone to check out you know every possible way to defeat the Thanos. That's kind of where I feel like, but I'm fucking doing a lot more. 15 million, like more like 1,500 trillion. I'm just looking at every fucking possible way. But uh, I'm already at fuck you, bug. At 35 minutes and 38 seconds. But I'm definitely just looking throughout life. I mean, 37 years old, 13 more years, 50. I just remember like yesterday being 30, like 25, 21, 18. Shit, back when I was 17, that was 20 years ago. 2003. But I don't know how long I have left to record. I think I'll just leave it there. Yeah.